What's going on YouTube? This Trent from Truck Life Productions. I'm back with another video. This one's going to be the 10 things that I hate about my 10th gen F150. Some of these things are really just kind of nitpicky because there's not a whole lot of things that I hate about this truck. I absolutely love this truck. It's been in the family for about 20 years now. And it gets the job done whenever we want it to get the job done. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you 10 things that I hate, and I'll have some other videos about other stuff on it too. So here we go. First thing would be the clear coat for these 90s vehicles. This is a 98. The clear coat was, I don't know if they just didn't use much or if it's just a bad batch of it or whatever it was, but basically, as you can see with the hood right here, it's up on top of the cab as well through other parts of it. But basically the clear coat peels off, and then whenever it peels off, it causes the paint to fade as the paint sits out in the sun. So as you can see, all the paint's faded, but it's a result of the clear coat. So that would be the first thing. Moving on to the second thing would be the rust. Now, this truck has been driven out in most of the snowy weather and stuff, so it does, or has seen salt on the roadways and stuff. But like, if you could see inside of here, you'll see like rust on the frame and stuff, as well as we'll go down here. There's a little bit of rust on the cab right there, and that one I think come from like the window. It's coming down, leaking in the window or whatnot, and then it comes down through the cab. So I don't know how far down that is, but that's something I'll have to address as I modify the truck. And out here to the back, now it's a little bit harder to see. Now this looks more kind of like surface rust, but what you can't see is on the inside where the spare tire is, right above it. There's some rust, that there's like a plate that goes over top of the spare tire, and the rust has actually started eating away at the plate, and you can only really see it whenever you got the spare tire down and out of the way. But it's just kind of some of the rust that has to be dealt with. So on the number 3 would be this tailgate. Now, there's nothing wrong with the tailgate itself. There is one thing about it: it's really heavy. And like the way that this is, I mean, there's probably a way I could fix a mechanism in here so I can open it this way, but it's very difficult. So I have to take my palm and kind of push it up like so, and then I could pull this down. Now, the reason I hate this is because that's a heavy tailgate, and when you're having to use that tailgate on a daily basis, you know, hours after hours, that tailgate can get really heavy, and it can be annoying because it's just, you know, you're already lifting other heavy stuff or whatnot, and you're having to take that tailgate down, which, I mean, I know you could probably leave it down if you're using it over and over, but you know, if you're putting something in the bed and you want to close the tailgate up, then you got to turn around and close the tailgate, or pull the tailgate down to get the stuff out and stuff like that. I mean, it's basically just a nuisance because it's on the heavy side. That would be thing number 3. Alright, so on the number 4. So now 4 is kind of a multi piece thing. Basically, you see these handles now on other F150s or any other mostly made vehicle, but definitely the F150s before this and after this, the handles actually had like a wraparound where you can put your hand in behind them and pull them. Well, these doors are heavy, and the way that this door handle is designed is, you know, that little bit is all it takes to open this real heavy door. But the problem is if you're sitting on like a hill, like an angle, where the truck's kind of sitting tilted a little bit sideways, this door and that door handle can be a real pain. You know, if you're trying to open that door handle and that door is real heavy and it's sitting on an angle, it could be a little bit of a pain to open it up. So that would be another thing. But while I'm out here on this side, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next thing, number 5, which would be the third door. Now, I like the fact that it has doors, or a door to get into the back. And the only reason I say that is because it makes it a lot easier to get into the back, especially if you have a bunch of stuff like a work truck where you're using the back constantly. It's good to have a way to get into the back, unlike the years prior to this where the seat up here had to be pulled down just to get into the back. The only problem is with this year, it's like for the first 2 years that they made this body style, they did not put a 4th door. So it's only a 3rd door, and that side over there does not open. Now, the reason I hate that is because whenever you're using this truck and you're the only person using it, you're driving the truck. So you're getting into the driver's side 99% of the time. Well, why can't that door open? That would make it a lot easier for you just to have to open that door to open the back side, to be able to access the rear compartment area of this truck. Unlike the passenger side over here, where if you're the driver and you're putting something into the back, or well, I mean, you know, if people are getting in, it's a little bit easier. But you know, if you're putting stuff in the back of this truck, I mean, let's face it, you're gonna have to come over to the passenger side, open the passenger door, open the back door, just to be able to put stuff in. Now you can set the front seat down on the driver's seat, but again, that goes back to the little bit earlier generations where you have to tilt the seat forward just to put stuff in the back. So if they would have put a 4th door, yeah, that would have been a little bit better, but that would be the next thing. While we're back here, another thing would be this rear seat. Now, the way that this rear seat works on newer models, this rear seat, the bottom would tilt up, and you would have the whole floor compartment open to be able to use it and have all this open space. Well, the problem with this one is there's a latch here, and this seat basically will fold up, but it folds flat. Now, I've got stuff in the floor, so it will not go flat at the moment, but basically this side right here of this seat will fold down flat, and you've got like this little metal piece right here that goes straight across, so it makes it like a flat floor for you to be able to put stuff on. But the problem is you got to have basically an empty floor to be able to set that flat, just to be able to use that whole flat area. If it were to raise up, it'd be a lot easier, kind of be more out of your way, and you could get to stuff on the floor easier, stuff underneath the seat, stuff like that. Just makes a lot more sense. Sorry, makes a lot more sense to have this seat fold up backwards than up forwards. So that would be another thing. Alrighty. That was number 6, I believe. We'll go on to number 7. So number 7 would be, as soon as you get into the driver's seat, the corner of this dashboard, from where you put your leg at, right here in this seat, that corner, there's not very much space there. I think they redesigned it on the later versions of this generation, but I'm not very sure. I haven't seen very many of them, but I know later on through the years they've redesigned the dash. But the way this one's set up is, I've hit my knee on that dash numerous times trying to get in because of how close it is. Now, yeah, I could put the seat back, but then again, I won't be able to drive for how tall I am. and I'm not very tall. So if you can see there, my back is literally all the way to the seat. My knee is hitting on the dash. Now, if I bring my knee down just a little bit, I could sneak just under that. But crawling in and out of this thing, that's a spot right there that you would probably hit more than one time, and you'll know it when you hit it. Right, so on to the next thing. Now, you won't be able to see this because it's not completely nighttime or dark outside, but if I turn the lights on in the dash right now, all of this, and this is actually a two-part as well, but all the lights from about here over work. The whole tachometer lights behind it don't work because they're burnt out. Now, I don't know how hard it is to get in there and take that out and put new bulbs in it and change it, but the fact that they're all burnt out, it's just like, you know, I don't necessarily need the tack, but when you're driving down the road and half your lights are already out, you know, it's just a matter of time before they start going out the rest of the way. But it seems to be like, you know, you want to be able to have lights where you need lights at, and that's one place that I'd like to have them. As well as, if you see here, the way that this is set up, it's a forward flaw, and I guess it's the cable that hooks to that little piece, the little lever. But the truck's in park. Shows like it's on reverse there. You know, whenever I put it in reverse, it's on neutral. Whenever I put it in drive, it's on 2. I mean, you know, so you kind of got to know what to put it on the drive, and if anybody else drives it, then they're going to have to know that too, because if they're going to put it down in the drive and they're trying to, you know, go somewhere and they're not going anywhere but just revving up, it's because they're in neutral, you know. So that's another thing that kind of, I guess it's just a piece that could have been designed a little bit better, but I mean, it is what it is. So on to the next thing would be these cup holders right here. So the way that these cup holders are, I got one here in the center, and that's, you know, very nice cup holder, very good size, very useful. These, on the other hand, now I've got some stuff up in here, but trying to put cups up here, you can put cups in here or cans, but the only problem is usually if you want to keep a liquid cold, you don't want to have it right in front of a vent. And whenever it's cold outside and you've got the heat on, you don't want cold drinks in front of a hot vent, especially this one, because that drink's going to get hot. And I mean, let's just face it, that's kind of a design that could have been done a little bit better. So that was interior stuff. I believe that was 9 things. Trying to think of the last thing. Like I said, this is kind of nitpicky stuff, so you know, I'm just trying to think of things that I don't really like. The last thing would be, so this truck is a 5.4 liter, and it's the 2 valve, which is a good motor. A lot of people have their opinions about the 5.4, but a 2 valve versus a 3 valve, everybody knows that the 2 valve is a little bit better version than a 3 valve is. But the downfall are these motors have the spark plugs in them that have a very shallow thread, so that's a downfall for these motors. But they also have coals that go bad as well on them, and this is a work truck, so it's very dirty, but I don't know if you can see it as well in here, but inside of here, like a little piece right here, that's a coal pack, and there's 8 of them, 4 on each side, and these have been known to go bad over time constantly. I actually had to replace another one on here, which is actually the 3rd one, which I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little yellow one in back there. That's the one I got to replace. It's kind of crammed up in there, so A little bit harder to get to some of them, but it can be done. But that would be the last thing that I hate about the truck. Again, that's the 10 things I hate about my F-150. And like I said, I'm gonna have more videos coming out about other things I love about it, as well as my 3rd gen Dodge Ram, stuff I love and hate about it. Just be sure to look out for that. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.